Hey everyone, Matthew here. Welcome back to the channel. Great to have you with me as always. I hope you're all having an amazing Tuesday. It is January 6th, 2026, and you're tuned into the Daily Nasdaq Futures Recap, where we break down the macro backdrop, track real-time order flow, and walk through every single trade executed by our algorithmic system. Let's jump straight into today's action. Market news and economic landscape. We kicked off the session with a relatively light economic calendar, which kept the market's focus squarely on price action, positioning, and sector rotation, rather than headline-driven volatility. At 8 a.m., FOMC member Barkin spoke, with no major surprises that materially shifted market expectations. At 9:45 a.m. S&P Global Composite PMI and Services PMI were released, setting the tone for the late morning pullback. Overall, it was a session where technical levels and order flow mattered far more than news. Overnight session. When futures reopened at 6 p.m., the market initially dipped but quickly stabilized and resumed its upward trajectory. Our robot identified early strength and entered a long position. As the Asian session opened, the index continued to grind higher, confirming the overnight bid and supporting our long bias. Morning session in U.S. Open. During the European Open, the market continued edging higher, and our long position showed unrealized gains of roughly $97. At 8:30 a.m., with no economic data released, the market briefly dipped on light liquidity. Our robot took advantage of that move and closed the long position for a realized profit, locking in gains ahead of the cash open. At the 9:30 a.m. U.S. Open, futures jumped higher, led by continued strength in NVIDIA. That said, participation was mixed. AMD and Tesla showed relative weakness. Meanwhile, storage shares SanDisk exploded higher, surging from 285 to 343 in just 1 hour, a standout move on the day. At 9:45 a.m., the PMI data hit. S&P Global Composite PMI came in at 52.7, down from 54.2. Services PMI dropped to 52.5 from 54.1. The softer data triggered a pullback, and our robot responded by initiating a short position. Before noon, that short was closed for a profit, as downside momentum began to slow. Midday update. Heading into the late morning and early afternoon, the market remained soft and choppy. Our robot shifted into scalping mode, executing several short-term trades in tighter ranges. By midday, total realized profit reached $140, reflecting disciplined execution in a low-momentum environment. Afternoon session and into the close. In the afternoon, Tesla continued to slide, pressing toward the 430 level. Bitcoin pulled back, dipping toward 92,000. Despite weakness in those risk leaders, Nasdaq futures began to stabilize and edge higher. Our robot recognized the shift and entered a late-day long position. Just ahead of the closing bell, that long was closed for a profit, bringing the total realized profit to $168 on the day. Summary and key takeaways. To wrap it up, the overall market finished higher, but leadership was narrow. AI-related names showed weakness, while storage stocks stole the spotlight, with SanDisk up roughly 25% on the day. Our algorithmic system remained disciplined and adaptive, generating $168 in profit trading one contract of the E-micro futures. Thank you for tuning in and being part of this daily journey. I'm Matthew, wishing you all an amazing evening. I'll see you tomorrow for the next Nasdaq Futures Recap.